I wanna let that Mac fly just like my nigga dope.
Are amazed that there was a job title called Chief of Disguise. And most women I know wish they'd had that job. Sounded like fun. Actually, it was fun. I don't think another intelligence agency in the world devoted the time and the budget to disguise like we did. Disguise became a form of body armor. In the Spy Museum, we call the mask a 5-second mask. They proved invaluable. You could change your ethnicity. You could change your gender, you could change your nationality, and if you needed to, you could actually become another person. They could spend 5 hours putting on a mask. They could spend an hour taking it off, and they could shoot it again and again and again until they got the lights just right. Our mask had to be perfect. The masks were full-face latex masks. It allows you to furrow your brow, it allows you to squint your eyes, it allows you to speak. The first thing we do is we make a face impression. If you've been to a dentist and never had a dental impression, it's the same thing. It's just your face, not your teeth. So they would have added to his face. They could rearrange his face a bit and give him a new face that would fit perfectly over his real face. The mask is the culmination of a lot of work that we did at CIA over a period of, I'd say 10 years, developing that technology. It was a big challenge to come up with something that finally actually animated and worked to really fool a person closer than 3-4 feet from you. But we did. When you go to disguise a person, the general idea is that you're going to meet with someone in this disguise and they're going to write a memo of the person that they just met with. We want every item in that memo that describes you to be wrong. If we're looking at a man and we want to change the way he looks, start at the top, and the first thing that comes up is hair. What's he got and what do you want to do with it? If he has curly hair, you want to go straight. If he has dark hair, you might want to go light. If he's young, you might want to throw in some gray. If he's old, you might want to cover up the gray. Do you present with facial hair? If you don't, maybe we're going to give you some. If you're going to be somewhere for a while, maybe we're going to have you grow some. We have made prostheses on occasion. You could actually change cheekbones, you can add something here, you can add a forehead, you can do a nose. We could do what we call dental facades. We can change actually the shape of your face with the right dental facade. This piece is called a plumper because it increases the plumpness of your gums, and when it does that, it changes the profile of your face. The last thing is artificial palates. We take an impression of the top of your mouth. They can change your enunciation. They can cause a slight lisp. It's a little bit different with everybody who wears one, but if it's enough, it's very useful. With women, you have a broader range of what you can do. You also have one extra step, and you could turn a woman into a man. I would mention that it's almost impossible to turn a man into a woman. What we do is always additive. We can make you taller, we can make you heavier, we can make you older. We can't go the other direction. Disguise isn't just all about the facial oval. It's about how you dress, how you present yourself in a public environment. Changing the way that you walk requires some amendment to what you're doing. You're going to need a physical apparatus to make you walk differently. You can't possibly say, okay, now I'm going to limp. To change my walk, I put a little piece of gravel in my shoe. Just a little thing that pinches my toe, and it changes my walk whether I want to or not. You can put a bandage around a knee, something that restricts you will change your walk.
They have extremely realistic prosthetics. This is what they're doing to fool us. They have all the money and all the ability to do so. If they could do it for the movies, if they could do it for this lady in the video, then why can't they do it for the media and all these, famous people? They really wall out with this. They put mass precision on everything, even the legs and the feet. That's how crazy that shit goes.
You'd think it's real. And that's the point, because Robert Barron's art imitates life.
That looks like skin, doesn't it? I mastered the technique of making silicone look like skin.
From his small lab near Washington, D.C., Robert crafts prosthetics that are so realistic, injuries and genetic deformities become invisible, and eventually developed full-face silicone masks that were flawless.
We found out that we just weren't getting enough information with beards and mustaches, and the disguises had to pass the closest scrutiny.
The other way? This way? Yeah. And could you face forward one more time? Yeah. Okay.
What about my taste? You got my taste somewhere.
Bodysuits let actors go through physical transformations that they couldn't easily make on their own, from gaining weight to gaining muscle to being pregnant. To make a bodysuit, you first have to get a life cast of an actor's entire torso. What about silicone makes it the right material for human skin? Well, foam wrinkles easily, and silicone can soften those wrinkles. But more importantly, Kevin says, silicone absorbs light the same way human skin does, which goes a long way towards making the suits look real. But it isn't until after the suit is sealed and injected with yet more silicone that Kevin can start to paint details on the skin, as plain foam doesn't look very convincing as an outer skin layer. Color makes a big difference in making the skin look real. Take a look at the muscle suits during a nearly completed stage. The abs pop out not just because of how they're sculpted, but because of how they're colored. The team used an unexpected color combination of red and green paint underneath and around each ab. It's those kinds of surprising details in human skin that only an artist can detect. Let's go back into that blank area of the muscle suit he colored in with an airbrush. Kevin says there's always some red in a person's skin, so he starts with that red base and then adds shades of green and blue, other colors he's observed in the skin.
I use a very tiny little spray, so it only maybe puts out a 1/16 of an inch, a band of color. I do this thing that for some reason I call it wobbly hand, and I just kind of create a kind of wobble, and I also go in and out. So I'm constantly moving my hand like this, and then I'm going in and out, to the thing. It causes little dots, causes little veins, a little breakup.
While that is happening, the left nipple doesn't fully pass until a pinkish brown coat gets sprayed on it. The muscle suits were smooth and hairless to mimic bodybuilders. Adding hair to a suit makes it easier to hide skin details, but each hair has to look real, from how it curls to the growth pattern. Kevin punched at least 300 individual hairs into the stomach and chest. He made sure to make the hair thicker and heavier as it went down the chest towards the groin. Kevin's work isn't only about painting splotches and punching hairs. You can't have a bodysuit that just looks realistic. It also has to move like a real body. The foam latex beneath the layer of skin-like silicone helps the actors move comfortably.